Yo, welcome to Trippy Commentaries. I'm RJ here with Justin.
Yo.
We are on the top of Mount Chiliad, patiently waiting for the appearance of one of the hidden UFOs here in San Andreas. This will be the third one that we have looked at. Of course, we looked at the one high atop the hippie camp in Sandy Shores. There's one underneath the ocean there, underwater. We looked at this one, and this will be number 3. It has to be 3 o'clock while it's storming outside, and we actually managed to bring the space docker up here as well. Damn. So, you ready, Justin?
Yeah, man.
Here we go. Now, this will be pretty cool here. We have the space docker to try to, maybe possibly communicate with it. And if you look over here, there's, the major clue. Come back when your story is complete. Really, that should say come back when you have 100% completion.
Yeah, that's pretty obvious.
Yeah. And then there's that UFO symbol underneath it. But we are about to see the real deal here in about 25 seconds. It'll appear in front of us. This is the exact perfect spot that you want to stand to see it. Alright, here we go. So, perhaps maybe this has something to do with the jetpack. Maybe there's some kind of link here.
It could.
Because, let's face it, the jetpack symbol is in that mural that is, not far away. It's right down in that gondola hut right there. And the clue is telling us to come back here when our story is complete. So I don't think it's a big stretch to link this UFO and possibly the appearance of the jetpack in the game. But here we go. We're about to see one of the most mysterious UFOs here in Grand Theft Auto 5. There it is.
Nice.
So that's it. It looks a lot like the one that we checked out there above Sandy Shores, which of course is the same one that's, underwater. It's the same style UFO. But this one is different because it disappears. You really cannot get that close to it, or it slowly disappears. And it kind of disappears in a weird way.
It's kind of hiding behind the clouds or
something, right?
Going stealth.
Yeah. Maybe that's part of its thing. Maybe it has a cloaking or invisible ability. Not too sure. Let's perhaps check out the telescope here.
This is going better than our first encounter with the UFO.
Wow, look at this one. Also says FIB on it. Look at that. Just like the first one that we looked at.
Yep.
So, like I said, very similar. It looks about the same. We can get a nice view with this telescope. Let's go ahead and attempt to communicate with it using our space docker that we brought all the way up to the top of the mountain. Let's see what we can do here. All right.
Do you think maybe it's the same UFO reappearing 4 different times?
Well, the one
of
above
them is crashed in the water.
Yeah, and the one above Mount Chiliad actually looks a lot different than this one.
Okay.
But perhaps this one is the same one that appears under or over Sandy Shores. That's a really good point. I don't think I've ever heard anybody say that
Yeah,
before.
there's got to be some deeper meaning behind having these 4 UFOs appear at certain times with certain weather. There's just got to be. You're saying it might be linked to the jetpack. I'm thinking they're going to just release the jetpack as, a DLC eventually online.
Mm-hmm.
But again, man, you showed me all this awesome UFO stuff in so many games. You're the master of the UFO in gaming, I must say. So you really showed me some awesome stuff.
Yeah. This one is kind of interesting on how, like I said, it disappeared. It's the only one that, you need so much for it to appear. It has to be raining. It has to be the right time.
Yeah.
And, this one also disappears when you get close. You can't land on it or anything remotely close to that. I mean, right now, you can't even see it at all.
So do you think those sticks are some kind of marker?
Well, it appears as if it's signifying possibly that we are directly underneath it. I mean, that's what I think. I always thought these flags here were a little bit suspicious, and it pretty much amounts to the exact spot where we should be getting sucked up into the UFO. We're attempting to communicate with it here.
So the car can't shoot anything at the UFO to make a connection?
No, it almost looks like is equipped with some sort of
So
gun of
what
some
does it
kind.
do?
It does nothing. It makes these noises, which you think would possibly be to communicate with this thing, but apparently not. It, like any other car in the game, it can switch its headlights on and off and put high beams on. And this one, the lights are green. So, you'd think maybe the green is maybe like a certain color to make certain things appear.
Yeah.
I don't know. Let's leave it behind for now, because apparently, to me it seems useless. I mean, you have to do so much to get this thing.
Right.
And what's going on? I mean,
I think that's kind of Rockstar's, that's their style, man. They put a
Yeah.
lot of hidden things in games. They want people to go in depth trying to figure out all these codes, like I said, you're a master of doing. And just
Easter
it
eggs.
adds to it adds to the gameplay. It adds to the longevity of the game. They're going to keep adding material for this game, for how long?
probably a long time.
A long time, man. And it's going to be a lot of good stuff. You'd like the awesome car that you showed the other day on the channel. It's just going to keep coming. So
Yeah. So, I got to ask you one last question here. I mean, you've seen the main two clues on the UFOs, and it's got a pretty interesting wobble here. I'm sorry, not the UFOs. The main two clues on the jetpacks. There's the one symbol here on the mural where we're at right now, at Mount Chiliad. It's right there in this little gondola hut over there.
Yep.
And then there's the other clue, which is over in the altruist camp. So you've already kind of alluded to it. You mentioned that you think the jetpack will be added via a DLC. So do you think that Rockstar is misleading us about the jetpack being in the game?
I wouldn't call it misleading. It depends on what side of the coin you're on. If you're, one of those in-depth gamers and you love the adventure of hunting down the clues, then you're gonna love it. You're gonna want to play it. And the people that aren't into that, they're probably not gonna be into it as much. So
Interesting. All right, so we will see. That's about it as far as I can see with this UFO. We're trying to interact with it. It's really not doing much at all.
people are always gonna want more out of a game. They're gonna want to be able to fly the UFO.
That's exactly what I want.
You're never gonna be able to please everyone all the time. So with what they've done so far with the game, it's really amazing.
Yeah, but at the same time, I mean, Rockstar is clearly pointing us in the direction of the UFO. They're putting these symbols in the game to make us think that it's somewhere, something is involved with it here. I mean, but as far as we can tell, it's not in the game. I thought maybe if we communicated with the UFO using the space docker, maybe a jetpack would fall out from the bottom hatch and we could fly around San Andreas, like we did
Or be
back
abducted.
on the Xbox and PS2. Being abducted would clearly be pretty cool as well. So
Make it happen, Rockstar.
yeah. Now, there's so much commotion about the jetpack that I think, like you said, we probably will see it at this point just because they know we all want it. They gave us clues to its existence in the game, but it does not. It's not in the game as far as we know, unless it's hidden better than any other Easter egg in any other game ever.
Right.
Then it's not in the game. I think there definitely is something in hidden away that we've yet to figure out, whether it's a big Easter egg or a small one. But as for the jetpack, that remains to be seen. So thank you guys for joining us here for this episode at Trippy Commentaries. Definitely make sure to subscribe. We really appreciate your feedback and your support. And stay tuned. Peace out, guys. Yo, welcome to Trippy Commentaries. I'm RJ here with Justin.
Yo.
We are on the top of Mount Chiliad, patiently waiting for the appearance of one of the hidden UFOs here in San Andreas. This will be the third one that we have looked at. Of course, we looked at the one high atop the hippie camp in Sandy Shores. There's one underneath the ocean there, underwater. We looked at this one, and this will be number 3. It has to be 3 o'clock while it's storming outside, and we actually managed to bring the space docker up here as well. So, you ready, Justin?
Yeah, man.
Here we go. Now, this will be pretty cool here. We have the space docker to try to, maybe possibly communicate with it. And if you look over here, there's, the major clue. Come back when your story is complete. Really, that should say come back when you have 100% completion.
Yeah, that's pretty obvious.
Yeah. And then there's that UFO symbol underneath it. But we are about to see the real deal here in about